Greetings and aloha, what's going on? It's Mike's.
Gracie?
From LiveMyAssOff.com. Live my ass off right now. Nayang Beach, which is this enormous beach right here. It goes all the way around, and in fact, if you keep walking around there and then around that point, you end up at the Phuket International Airport. And so we're having breakfast right here, and so we thought we'd share this with you guys and kind of just hang out. And I like up until literally like right now, I just flashed on the fact that it's Sunday. I actually thought it was Monday.
Easter.
Oh yeah, today's Easter. Oh, that's right. Oh well. Hey Joe, good to see you, buddy.
Can you see?
Yeah, can you see it?
No.
There you go.
There's no one there.
Joe, up top.
No, I mean the video.
Oh, well.
Oh, you're not there?
I'm watching the chat.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's a different chat app. So it brings in like Facebook and all that.
Ah, okay.
So I got 97% on the phone that I'm tethering the GoPro to. The GoPro is on. Hey Roger, what's up? I know, it's pretty awesome, right? This family that, yeah. So is that YouTube or Facebook?
Facebook.
See, did you get a YouTube notification?
I'm sure.
Joe, did you get a YouTube notification?
Actually,
I'm so disappointed with YouTube.
Actually, I don't. But if I open YouTube, I have it here.
Then I'm there. Okay. Yeah. So our resort is basically down there. So you see all those buildings on the hill. If you go there, you go to the left, and there's that like open area too. To the left of that, right, basically where there's the pine trees sort of end, right around that corner is the Marriott. Marriott Resort and Spa, I guess it's called.
Yeah.
Nayang Beach. I always seem to get the beach name wrong, but
It's they called Naya. It's not Nayang.
Nayang.
Yeah. Because they pronounce it different than us.
Right. So we're basically near the airport, and I will show you the food truck basically that yields this restaurant here with a pretty good view. And that little road back there, if you're familiar with this portion of Phuket, is one of the roads that's inside the national park up here. Oh shoot, sorry. Yes. Okay, cool. So I wanted to, well, I did actually, okay, take a video of us walking over here, and I'll publish that. And I'm like about 5 or 6 videos behind. The video that I put up tonight is of the Naka, where we stayed 2 nights ago. And that one, that was a really amazing resort. But even though like we didn't pay anything to be there, the knowledge of the cost of it was kind of distracting, which I thought was odd. I mean, trust me, it wasn't anywhere near how distracting it would have been had we actually paid to be there. I asked her how much the room was that we stayed in had we had to pay that night, and it was
10,500.
Yeah, 10,500 baht. I think this way it gets both of us. I'm not sure. Oh wait, I can see.
I check.
I think it gets both of us.
Yeah.
So, But anyway, what I was saying about the day and time, I realized it's Sunday. I think that means that literally every single one of my buddies that has a YouTube channel that goes live on the weekends is live right now. So
yeah,
which is fine. I just wanted to make a video. Obviously this will republish as a video after being live, so it's just easier to do it this way, and then people can watch it later. But this is just sort of us sharing a little bit of our lives with you, as are all the videos, I suppose. But it's nice here, man. I've never stayed in Nanyang. I've come up here and I did a video, so that would have been mid-December of last year, where I went basically to the northern end of this national park that we're in, and walked on the beach for about another 20-25 minutes, which then brought me to the end of the runway of the airport. And at the time, because of the way the wind was going, the planes were landing over the water, so that was a neat effect. Right now, obviously, monsoon season, winds shift, and so therefore planes take off over the water. So, and I just got an orange light on my battery for my GoPro versus the green light that was taunting me before. But hey Chris, good to see you, buddy. Thank you for your comment on the previous video. I appreciate that. Just hanging out at the beach, eating breakfast from this table. For an amount of money that we refer to as free. So the Marriott was nice last night. I mean, basically after dark, there was no noise.
Yes. Which
I really appreciated. We've got the, yeah, it's pretty nice. Hey, aloha, Daniel. Good to see you, buddy.
Okay.
Whoever's staying, we're on the bottom floor. It's one of these facilities, buildings where it's got like 2 floors, right? So at the Marriott,
there's one above us?
Yeah, yeah. So there's rooms above us, and they have a balcony that overlooks basically the pool, which actually from there you also look out over the what you're looking at right now, the Andaman. And but we're on the bottom floor, which gives us a much larger porch and also a
easier to go to the pool.
Private cabana, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you walk straight out through the bushes basically and you're at the pool. Mm-hmm. And the downside for a little bit of yesterday was the fact that the pool, like there's like a kiddie pool basically right in front of us. It wasn't being used till about 5:36.
Yeah.
And then there were kids in it for about an hour and a half, which I don't particularly like. Gracie doesn't really like the noise of screaming children either. I really don't like the noise of anyone screaming, regardless of their age, whether it's a baby or an adult. But the good news is the pool closes at 7.
Good.
Have Dana and Jib on the other screen. Oh, it's, yeah, are they live this morning from the Idea Studio? Nice. Hey, Dave.
It's hard for them just like to choose which one you can watch.
I know. Yeah, well, yeah.
Sorry about that.
So, but yeah, after like 7, and the pool closes at 7. As far as I'm concerned, after 7 there was effectively no noise.
Yes.
In our room.
Yeah, it's because the lifeguard, I guess. So the lifeguard are just like standing there, so maybe they're also like
making sure people leave. Yeah.
They leave at 7.
They so we watched what 3
episodes of our own.
Yeah. We're watching this show on Netflix. It's a overdub of a Spanish/Mexican
Who Killed Sarah?
series called Who Killed Sarah, S-A-R-A, if you guys are into it. And
it's fine, it's nice, it's interesting.
Yeah, I mean the overdubbing is not stellar, but
yeah,
it's still pretty good. If you guys ever watched Money Heist, it's basically the same experience. Yeah.
I hope there's a part. I guess there's a part 2 of it.
Of what we're watching? Well,
no, the Money Heist, but we just don't.
I thought we watched it.
The
second season.
No, we don't.
And I thought it was like bad compared to the first season.
Hold on.
I think the second season starts with like a motorcycle driving towards the bank or something. and then the woman like flies up the stairs into the bank, and it's the scenario where they have like all the hostages or something.
No, that was Tokyo.
Oh.
Coming back because she come out. That was her coming back inside,
Okay.
riding on a motorbike.
And then the guy dies, right?
Yeah.
Dave said it was him. He never liked Sarah. Dave killed Sarah.
Dave.
Dave killed Sarah, yeah. Gotta love Thailand. He never liked Sarah. Matt Tech, good to see you, buddy. Thank you for coming by.
Yeah, I don't like Sarah either.
Well,
I don't like her, but
no, she was stuck up, basically.
Yeah. But the story is good.
The story's pretty good, yeah. It's about a rich family that basically buys their son free from jail, but also manipulates a effectively poorer boy who was arguably troubled, but because of his situation, they were able to manipulate him into going to jail for 18 years. They thought, of course, they told me it only goes to jail
30.
for like 2 weeks or 2 months or something, right?
Yeah.
Well, anyways, you know, it's entertaining. It passes the time. It certainly makes me tired and then fall asleep. So, makes me think of the Volvo 240 GLT. Oh, nice.
I almost finished it.
Good. No, it's okay. It's all right. I mean, I'm fine. The 240 GLT, you know, it's funny, Matt Tech, I was looking for, every now and then, like, you know, Facebook posts up, like, marketplace stuff. Right, so it's like, hey, this car is for sale, or this apartment's available, or something like that. So every now and then I'll, like, spend some time just looking through it, and I'm amazed. You can get a used Volvo here pretty well, pretty inexpensively, but my concern would be, I don't know if there would be mechanics skilled enough, like they are with Toyotas. I mean, anyone can get a Toyota fixed here.
Yes, I'm just tired looking at me. You can just, like, put it.
You think they're tired looking at you? I would argue differently, but
You're different.
I'm different.
I'm your girl.
Well, as you know, I have a lot of female viewers, so they're probably like, oh my God, not another Filipina with a meter of hair. This is definitely the best food truck experience I've had in my life.
I like it.
It was amazing. So I don't have anything really compelling to say other than to provide you guys with this live shot of Awesome Sauce. Still has his 84 240 factory diesel. My parents had Volvos for years. And my parents drive very little. They basically drive to the beach and back in the morning, go for a walk. They go to the grocery store. My mom goes to the library. And my dad has a Honda Accord that, of course, runs perfectly because they're amazing. And my mom, to give you an idea of how old her car is, my mom has a Saab, and it was actually one of the last few years that they made Saabs. But it is in excellent condition. I think it has 15,000 miles on it. And anyway, it's in great shape, and to get it serviced, they just bring it to the Chevy dealer, and apparently they do a good job servicing it. So, storm about to hit the Bangkok. How's the weather where you're at? Kevin, we have actually excellent weather. Now, it's monsoonish, beginning of season, you know, it's April, right? So therefore, at any given time, it could potentially rain torrentially for anywhere from 30 seconds to 5 minutes and then go away. Yeah, my parents are still back in Boston where I grew up, or Boston area, south of Boston. If you're familiar with the Boston area, it's basically about 15 miles south of Boston, between Boston and the Cape.
Cape.
Yeah.
Cape?
C-A-P-E, Cape.
Cape what?
Cape Cod.
Cape Cod?
Mm-hmm. C-O-D. Catch of the day, honey.
Fish catch of the day.
Fish catch of the day. But right now the weather looks as you see it. And if I look at my weather app, I'll be able to get some idea of the rest of the day. Weather app shows 0 rain between now, 10% chance of rain effectively, which is unlikely today, tomorrow. Rain, scattered thunder showers not available until Tuesday, and even then it's only a 60% chance. Right now it's 86, feels like 96, says the temperature thingy. I believe it. And it's yeah, actually Roy Mark, chap. Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. She could totally rake the sand in front of us if you like. Make our rope swing even funner. $1,400 richer today. Thanks, government. Oh yeah, you know what I gotta do? Is I got a letter from the Massachusetts tax authority. I need to prove that I'm me. And I guess it makes sense. They're being, you know, cautious, right? And at the end of the day, this is the first full year I've filed in Massachusetts as my state, so I guess there's a lot of scams that happened with this, what did they call it? PUA, Pandemic Unemployment Assistance, and I've had to send them stuff to prove that I'm me like 2-3 times now. I'm getting quite good at it, but it's a website. You log in, you upload, you know, like a picture of me holding my ID kind of thing. I feel like I'm signing up for Coinbase. $1,400 is, you know, better than nothing, right? But I often wonder what their belief is. Like, with $1,400, I would argue that, at least in my mind, I mean, I could be naive, but at least in my mind, you know, that one check, all of it, if not, yeah, I would think that all of it would simply be able to go to your rent. And in many cases, not even 100% of your rent. I mean, I know in San Diego, where I was living, where I was getting a smoking deal on the rent, meaning I was getting like, it was like 75% off. In Coronado, that wouldn't even have covered my monthly rent there. Most of my buddies in San Diego are paying well north of $2,500 a month for rent. And then one of my really good friends, his mortgage is $3,000 a month, which is considered not expensive in San Diego. And he's got one of those 3-story townhouses where like the entryway is just not really it's not really a living space. But there's like like 1 bedroom and a bathroom, and then the second floor is like kitchen, living room, bathroom, maybe like an office, and then the 3rd floor, I believe, is 2 master suites kind of thing. And he lives, if you guys are familiar with San Diego, he lives on Friars Road, right across from the big Costco/IKEA. You know, so those units are, I'm gonna go with 15 years old, maybe 20, 15. The next pandemic, I agree with you, MedTech. The rent apocalypse. Yeah, I'm more than happy with our renting paradigm here. It's funny. I mean, I love. Hey, Hike, what's going on, buddy? I love Rike, as you guys know. I mean, he's an excellent friend. I also believe that what he publishes on the internet adds value. And he just Life simply reposted. Yeah, Life Beyond the Sea. His recent post in his community tab, I believe, for YouTube was an article about how Thailand has gotten too expensive, and that's why so many people are going to Vietnam. And to be clear, you cannot get into Vietnam right now with any degree of ease relative to the difficulty that it is to get into Thailand. I completely agree that the visa situation in Thailand is indeed more expensive and arguably more of a pain in the ass. I get that. What do I value? That's easy. You know, first thing that pops into your head, my sobriety. Without that, I have absolutely nothing. With that, I have absolutely everything. That's what I value. What about you, honey? What do you value? You don't know? What's important to you? Happiness?
Yeah, us being healthy and, you know, won't gonna hit by COVID.
Yeah, no COVID.
Yeah, there's no
Healthy.
COVID and healthy, yeah.
There you go. And how Thailand has gotten more expensive, and it's so expensive to live in, you know, anywhere in Bangkok. And it's like, look, I mean, you know, people could say, well, the United States is expensive. Well, dude, I gotta tell you right now, when I was living in San Diego, yeah, San Diego's expensive. But when I was living in St. Louis, I had a 3-bedroom or 3-story brick house with a 2-car garage. But every morning I woke up in St. Louis, but I was still only paying $750 a month. I mean, it's, you know, it's free effectively compared to San Diego. Whereas anyone around there, they were like, oh my God, you're paying more than $1,000 a month for your house. I'm like, what?
Tax?
Yeah, monthly rent. And here we pay, and here's the other thing too, is the article's like, yeah, well, you know, the exchange rate's getting worse and worse. You're delusional. Over the last like 3 weeks, the exchange rate has done nothing but be awesome compared to the US dollar. My rent, 12,000 baht, as of this month, is now $384 a month. That's also what we call in San Diego free for a 50 square meter apartment.
Free.
Condo.
Free.
And so yeah, so my cost of living has gone down about 6% this month because of the increased exchange rate. I'm not as cool as my mojo. I can't exchange currency for profit.
Mojo.
And on visas, my plan is to ask Integrity Legal for help with a business visa. 99-year lease, those don't exist. There's no such thing in Mexico. There is a 50-year fideicomiso, which basically means that your land is held in trust by a bank, and you pay an administrative fee annually on that deed, and you own it through a trust. And so that is good for 50 years. And they would be like, yeah, but if I can't own it, I'm not doing it. And I'm like, dude, with a fideicomiso, I can sublet this, I can subdivide it, I can will it to somebody. And these were people that I was talking with that were over 50 years old. And I'm like, look, quite frankly, you may think you're going to live to be 100, but you're delusional sitting there telling me why you're not going to invest in real estate that you can only own for 50 years smoking a cigarette. And so anyway, but this is Mike's opinion. This is Mike's view on life. And but anyway, Ben's I would argue, I don't know this for a fact, all situations are different, but I would argue that he will brilliantly veer you away from getting an Amity company, because while as a US citizen you can in fact own 100% of a foreign-owned company here in Thailand, the administrative nonsense that's necessary for it, I don't believe the ROI is there. So, and again, you're right, Roger, it is very subjective. Everything is very subjective. I commented to that article about how, you know, Vietnam is less expensive, Thailand is more expensive. And I'm like, well, what's your definition of expensive, dude? Because I know people that live over here, expats that live over here, and they're like, oh yeah, well, McDonald's is expensive. I'm like, no, dude, the Ritz-Carlton is expensive. the hotel, the resort we stayed at yesterday was expensive compared to Thailand. The resort we stayed at yesterday, the resort we're staying at tonight, in US dollars, if this is the first time you've ever come to Thailand, and you're basically still thinking and spending in US dollars, these locations are very inexpensive. The experience we had yesterday at the Naka, as well as the 2 days ago, the experience that we had today at this Marriott is ridiculous VIP. And you know, the place we're staying at tonight, including taxes, it's probably less than $300 a night. But, you know, I mean, I was regularly paying at least $275, if not $400 a night for the rooms I would stay at in Las Vegas for a conference. And I hate Las Vegas. It's gross, man. But Las Vegas is a city designed to be the world's best city to get the hell out of, as far as I'm concerned. It hurt 31 baht at one point. Well, dude, yesterday, I moved money. Was it yesterday or maybe 2 days ago? Regardless, in the last 48 hours, I TransferWised money over. And even with the fees that I pay TransferWise, because of the epic exchange rate they give me, I was getting 31.25. I mean, are you kidding me? I mean, come on, man. And what I love about that is that all the guys, all the Thai vloggers that do these, you know, because negative information, criticism, that sort of thing, it all sells, right? I mean, it gets people to watch videos. And guys that I absolutely love and adore, they do these videos from Thailand when the exchange rate goes down to 30. Oh my God, what's gonna happen? Why did it happen? What is Thailand doing? But tell you what's gonna happen, dude, is after it goes below 30, it's gonna go back up. over 30. You moron. I mean, have you lived here more than a half hour? And yeah, it's back up to 31, and the minute it gets north of 31, I have a little notification that occurs on my phone because I'm connected to the internet. And the minute it goes over 31, I transfer at least $400, $500, $600, maybe even $1,000 over via TransferWise. And then it goes back down, and I watch these guys make videos, and I laugh at them, and then I wait for it to come back up, and boom. I got a really nice surprise. I'm buffering badly, probably issue with my, no. MetTech says I'm British, so I can't take advantage of the treaty. Yeah, there's no advantage. Fear not, you're not losing out on anything. Mr. Mitch, good to see you, buddy. Got some groceries back in my truck, listening in, no texting for me. LOL, good for you, all the best. That's good. Yeah, no, as far as I'm concerned, MetTech, you're not missing out on anything, dude. That is a postcard picture, isn't it? It's definitely a postcard picture. I'm on my GoPro, man, and I gotta tell you, this is only, I think I stream at 10, I think it's 1080-30, it might be 1080-50, or 1080-60, I can't remember, but yeah, I agree, I think it's a pretty darn good picture. I apologize if the buffering is, happening. I would argue, based on the icon they use, I'm gonna go with 3 out of 4 bars of LTE, and I think Gracie's live on TikTok right now. Or no, she's actually talking to somebody. She's probably talking to her sister. Not sure. My soon-to-be sister-in-law, no big whoop. Extending my family across the ocean, across the Pacific. But the whole expensive label about Thailand, I mean, again, where we're staying tonight is very expensive from a Thailand perspective. But from a US perspective, if I'm going to get in a plane, I mean, even if let's say there's no COVID, and I can just get on, I'm living in Los Angeles or San Diego right now, I can get on a plane and bam, 21 hours later, boom, I'm in Bangkok. And then I take another plane and I'm down in Phuket. So within 24 hours, let's say, for the sake of argument, including shuttles, I go from the west coast of the United States and I land up in this Marriott that we're staying at right now, and I walk in and they give me the room they give me, and they're like, well, sir, it's 6,000 baht a night, which is, under $200. And I look at them and go, you mean the resort fee? I mean, here's what's interesting about expensive for some people. It depends on, go more hike, what you value. A lot of people, I know friends that own Maseratis, and they recently bought a Bentley, and the cost of those cars is irrelevant. In fact, one could argue that they're on the far right-hand side of the supply-demand curve, and therefore, if they didn't cost what they cost, those people wouldn't buy them. If a Maserati all of a sudden costs $22,000, I would argue that a lot of people that normally buy Maseratis would not buy Maseratis. Bentleys, that sort of thing. Oh wow, proposal. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. I guess I kind of just talk about it like, oh yeah, Gracie and I are going to do our laundry. Oh, by the way, we're going to rent a motorbike. Yeah, we're going to get married. Because we are. And actually, when I literally proposed, I set up my tripod in my condo with my phone, and I proposed. I got on one knee, right, honey? Remember that when I proposed on my knee during COVID? And I sent you the video? Yeah. From the condo? That was my proposal? Full on romance? Because we were apart and we wanted to, I wanted to at least make it some degree of official. And I figured if she had the video, then that way she could at least hold me accountable. But we had been, talking about this, the process for a while, and then, as you might guess, part of the impetus for it was also like, okay, well, I can't even get into the Philippines right now unless we're married. If we have to cohabitate, or if we have to basically, oh my God, what do you call it? Quarantine, Jesus. If you have to quarantine somewhere as a couple, unless you have a marriage certificate, you can't do that. And I'm like, okay, well that's a non-starter. And and we've been together 6 years, and or 5 years. How many years we've been together, honey? 5 or 6? 5 as of January?
Yeah.
Yeah, because our. Okay, yeah, there we go. Can you guys see that? That's the hats Gracie made us. Mackie 16, Team Mackie 2016. So it's 20, and that was January 2016. So that means
Yeah, January 16, 2016.
2016. Okay. So that means, yeah, so 5 years. And although to be fair, even at like 4 years, I'm like, you know, I'm not gonna bother necessarily looking for a better option. But then it didn't take me that long to immediately after that sentence or that thought or whatever say, yeah, but why would I even bother? Like, what am I gonna find a better relationship? Jesus, come on. This is fantastic. Ah, couple my cop. And so I'm living the. Oh, okay, cop. Yeah, I have.
Honey, I
Yeah.
got like 14 for you.
Look at that, guys. 1414. Make a wish, honey. Boom.
Done.
1,414 followers. You're following 1,200 people who I'm sure you know intimately.
No,
How many views do you have?
I don't know.
Doesn't it say?
No.
If I bring you up on TikTok, I think it shows me your followers and your views, right?
No.
Oh, I thought it showed the total number of views. What are you getting
Not only just like in every like
on every video? And you got 903 on the video yesterday of you
That's-
eating fruit.
Yeah, that's dinner last night.
Nice. Okay, well, need to figure out how to monetize that. Ah, Roy Ma, couple my cop. So what's your name?
Nah.
Na, and that Na is your food truck? Yeah, okay. And we're in National Park, right? No, this is not National Park? National Park Tino? Ah, okay, okay. So this is Nayang Beach. Chame?
ใช่
Okay, kap. ภาษาไทยนิดหน่อยครับ
นั่งไปเลย
นั่งไปเลย Okay.
โอเค
Good.
no problem
No problem. She's great. And she actually laughed at me at the right moments. At my ridiculous tie. And yeah, she's welcoming, right? And for God's sake, I'll give her 300 baht for all this food all day long, right? With this view. Jesus, guys. Anyway, yeah, so there was an actual literal proposal with me on one knee during COVID, doing it over the internets. Congratulations. Matt Tech says congratulations, honey.
Huh?
Matt Tech says congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it. Hey, you guys remember ERMD? I think 96 is his name. He's a emergency room doctor from Hawaii. He cruised by one of my videos lately. It was really good to see him. And I bring that up because, like, the guys that are in here now, you know, you guys, I see your names and I see your comments and stuff. It always makes me smile. Hike, Matt Tech, Mr. Mitch, Roger McGee, of course. The other thing, of course, the big soft spot in my heart about Roger McGee is the fact that he's over here too. And so when he sees pictures of me and Gracie, when he sees pictures of me and Gracie on the beach, I would argue that he knows exactly how I feel, because he's able to go to whatever, in air quotes, whatever beach paradise is for him. And that could be Lumpini Park, or it could be a mall, or it could be literally a beach. But I know that he knows how I feel, having spent the time, energy, and money to quarantine to come over here to see his loved one. So yeah, so it's always neat when I see Roger's name there. Makes me feel, yeah, there you go, buddy. High five, my friend. Where are you at, and what are you going to do back to the Big Mango? So right now we're at Nayang, Todd. So we're at Nayang Beach, but we are not in the national park. I just checked out with that lady. We are north of the Marriott Resort Nayang. And if you're coming up the road, basically, when it becomes sort of like a bigger, more advanced, more mature road that like heads towards the international airport, on your left, right before a curve, you'll see the big sign for the Marriott Nayang. And so we're here now. I have absolutely no idea when we're heading back to the Big Mango. I looked online, and it was just simply a decision or a consideration based on price. The cost of a flight back to Bangkok on Thursday, because of course, you know, I mean, the whole, what is it, Songkran thingy is basically like happening like this week, this weekend, next weekend, that sort of thing. People are like doing full on, you know, multiple day vacations, long weekends, that sort of thing with family. So the price of, you know, airline is expensive. Thursday, however, it's really cheap. It's like 683 baht for us to get back to Bangkok on Vietjet, and I'm a fan of Vietjet. And of course, you know, and that's like booking it, you know, like 72-hour advance purchase, right? So I for the longest time I thought today was Monday. I now realize it's Sunday. If for no reason, then I've only got 6 views on my live stream from the beach because everyone is over at Dana's live stream probably, or maybe is Jeremy doing a live stream today? I don't even know, because I don't believe I got a notification, and the last sort of IO I had with him was his I think he simply said, hey guys, I'm not doing a live stream yet, which was Saturday, because he's traveling, like he's starting his vacation. I can't remember. I get a lot of, you know. Anyway, he and I chatted briefly via comments. So, nothing like, yeah, I mean, I guess it's, I don't know. I mean, again, it's a supply and demand, right? I mean, if, here's the thing. I don't believe that really, I believe items and services even are sold at the price people are willing to pay for them. Because I can tell you right now, if I'm VietJet and all of a sudden I'm displaying, or if I'm AirAsia, I'm displaying ticket prices for 2,500 baht, I'm not doing it so I can not allow people on my planes. Yeah, I mean, it's disappointing, you know, but I mean, let's face it, you know, 3 weeks ago, you could get that exact same seat for, you know, less than 1/3 the price. So, I don't know, I don't really believe it's price gouging. I mean, it's a capitalistic free market, right? All it does is make me feel better about myself and my ability to judge others, because of course I get better deals. Holiday price is all it is for, oh yeah, high gas prices. Well, I'll tell you what, dude, I lived in San Diego and people are like, how come the price of gas in San Diego goes up 200% from what it is in the fall? And I'm like, because it can. Why do they charge $5 a gallon at the Shell right next to the airport when all you got to do is drive 2 miles east and go to the 76 and it's $4 a gallon? Like, because they can. Yeah. I understand why gas is more expensive in Hawaii. You have to ship it there. I understand why a price of, so a bag of Cape Cod potato chips, Gracie and I were in Bermuda. Bag of Cape Cod potato chips was $21.
Remember the grapes, I guess, that I get?
Yeah, we got a kilo or 2 kilos. I think it was 1 kilo. 1 kilo of grapes in Bermuda was $15.
That was 15?
Yeah. Yep. But our motorbike was, I don't know, it was like 10 bucks a day. It was very reasonable compared to the cost of everything else. And it's Bermuda. I mean, they don't grow grapes in Bermuda. They don't grow Cape Cod potato chips in Bermuda. You have to basically put them in a big tanker. Well, I don't know where we're going to be, Doorman. So this is where we are right now. We haven't decided where we're going to be. After I pay for this food, we're going to walk down the beach. We may, well, we will check out a...
We walk there?
Yeah, a couple of resorts. Yeah, so we're going to check that out, because on the map they're like 600-700 baht a night. And while we could stay at the Marriott for another night, I have another certificate. It's like, you know, it's cool and stuff, but there's no neighborhood, and, you know, I mean, everything you buy there, and it's just distracting for us, kind of, you know. We look at the menu and it's like, okay, yeah, it's only 580 baht for this sandwich, but it's like, yeah, but you could go down and hang out with Na at her food truck and have one of the best breakfasts in the whole world with this view that we're not sharing with anybody. For I don't even know what this food will be. I think each soup was like 80 baht or something like that. Mitch is home now. Mike, you are a hopeless, hopeless romantic video proposal. Yeah, well, it's the best I could do, dude. I wasn't gonna fax her. My God, I have a soul. But yeah, I was, and you know, I wanted to do it somewhere that she would recognize. I mean, I suppose I could have been really romantic and done it at like Lumpini Park or something, right? Although, no, I'm sorry, I couldn't. I was looking back at my calendar 1 year ago today. I could not leave my condo in Bangkok, unless it was like to go to the doctor, I believe. I was also looking back at my calendar last year. I'm really glad I wrote these dates down. May 17th, I'm pretty sure, is the date that I remember writing down. That was the day that the malls reopened in Bangkok last year. And so at this time last year, April, what's it today, honey, the 4th? Yeah, April 4th last year, I was in my condo and I thought to myself, well, I can't wait for 2 weeks from now when this is over and Gracie can come back here. So, but I like that. I consider myself a very hopeful romantic. I know what you mean by that, Mr. Mitch, though. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. That warms my heart, makes me smile, reading that. I wouldn't disagree with you. Oh, hey, we got to watch the tide, don't we?
Yeah, it's okay.
It's plenty of beach left? At a high tide, I guess we would just walk into a meter of water that's 84 degrees. Oh, Mr. Mitch says hello.
Mr. Mitch.
Yep. Had Gracie traveled internationally before you met? Forgive me if that's none of my... Oh, no, and so MedTech, thank you for that, actually. Well, the short answer is, dude, is, I mean, I'm on YouTube. So there are very few things that are not none of your business. But I genuinely appreciate your you saying that. The short answer is yes. Before we had met, she had been to... Where had you been to? Nicaragua? Panama? No.
No, this is
Costa Rica, Nicaragua. Yeah, and the main reason you went to Nicaragua is just to do like a visa run from Costa Rica, right? So you could stay another, yeah. So she had a boyfriend at the time that she went to see there, and then when we met, I believe when we met, did you have a passport or did you get one like shortly after we met?
No, I just renewed my passport.
The 5-year?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
I just renewed my passport before we met.
and your new one is 10-year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so she had renewed her passport, and then let's see.
I got it until 2029. I guess. Oh no.
Your current one?
25, maybe.
No, I think your current one's like good through 2029 or something. Because I know I renewed everything. I think you renewed stuff before I moved here too. We were all like, hey, we got to renew stuff for as long as we can. So she did that, and then we together started traveling here, which is, you know, technically internationally, but through ASEAN in Southeast Asia. And so we went to Thailand. Our first time leaving the Philippines together, we did what? We left. No. Leaving the Philippines. Did we come to Thailand first?
No, Malaysia.
We went to KL. Yeah. Okay. So our first trip, we went to KL, and then from there we went to Bangkok, right? Yeah. We spent Christmas, I think,
Then New Year in Vietnam.
and then New Year's in Vietnam. Yep. Our plan at that time was to spend New Year's in Da Nang, because I heard about. Yeah, I heard about all the amazing fireworks, and you know that pretty famous dragon bridge they have there in Da Nang, one of the many they have in that country. I thought, oh yeah, they're gonna light off fireworks from there. So I'm like, that's great. So I get this hotel right on the beach. It's like 5th floor, overlooking the beach in Da Nang, and I'm like, this is amazing. It's so cheap. I can't believe it. Nobody's here. And then we get there. It's like 60 degrees, raining. And I'm like, dude, you gotta be kidding me. They're like, oh yeah. I said, well, what? Is that why? Yeah, the reason this is so cheap, dude, is because no one's dumb enough to come to Da Nang this time of year. So we were gonna stay there for like 3 or 4 days, and I think we lasted 1, maybe 2 nights. Maybe two nights.
Yeah.
And then we hopped on a plane and we went to Phu Quoc, which I believe is how you pronounce it. Phuquoc,
Yes,
the island. And we spent New Year's Eve there. So by that time she had been out of the country and gone to 2 countries. Sorry, 3. Malaysia, Thailand, and Vietnam. Then we spent basically the next year figuring out and applying for, as well as traveling, applying for her US tourist visa, her B1, B2. We did that. We used a service out of Cebu to help us do that, which was a complete waste of money. They were not competent at all, and the coaching they gave her was inaccurate. She was denied at the US Embassy in Manila, and then she got a 6-month tourist visa to Mexico. So she basically flew to Tijuana, and I commuted back and forth to my job in San Diego from a couple of Airbnb condos in Tijuana for about 2 months. It was certainly annoying enough to motivate me to say, I don't give a shit what it takes and costs. We are getting you a US visa. There's no friggin' way we're doing this Mexico nonsense. So what we did is we got a 30-day, I didn't realize they were 30 days, but we got her a transit visa, I didn't realize those lasted 30 days. I didn't realize on a transit visa you can technically enter the United States and stay 29 days. Don't do that, by the way. I would highly discourage you to do that. But what we did is we got her a transit visa because, a couple of reasons. I didn't really think about it at the time, but the main motivation was because if I can fly her in and out of North America through Los Angeles, San Francisco, that sort of thing, infinitely cheaper. Flying her from the Philippines into Mexico City was like easily twice the cost of flying her, like to get her to Tijuana. It was like easily twice the cost if I had flown her to Los Angeles and then Los Angeles to Tijuana. So that was enough of a motivation. The other reason after we got it was because it was so easy to get. I was very pleased. So we got her a transit visa at the U.S. Embassy in, U.S. Consulate in Tijuana. And she went in and I think she walked out, I want to say less than 30 minutes later. They had approved her. And then I think it was about 48 hours later, they shipped her passport to like a mailboxes, etc. somewhere in Tijuana. We picked it up and she had a visa, a transit visa. And again, it wasn't until that moment that I opened it and I looked at it and I said, oh my God, this visa is valid for 30 days. You could literally fly into Los Angeles, come down to San Diego and spend 28 days with me at my house in San Diego, then go back to Los Angeles and leave, and it would be fully legal. I'm really glad we didn't do that. She flew into Los Angeles, we had a hamburger, and then she immediately left on her transit flight to the Philippines. We then reapplied for a U.S. tourist visa, B1, B2, stating the reasons that she was denied, which was effectively just incompetence by the agents at the U.S. Embassy in Manila. The majority of the staff at the U.S. Embassy in Manila is completely incompetent. And you compare that to the customer service you receive at the U.S. Embassy in Thailand and game over. So what I did, if you don't know, when you apply for a U.S. visa, there is a drop down, and the majority of people will be like, oh, well, I'll just choose the embassy that's in the person's home country. Don't do that. I chose the U.S. Embassy in Bangkok, Thailand, and she flew into Bangkok, Thailand, and she was approved. She flew into, or rather, she flew into Bangkok, Thailand for her interview. She went through the process of having to go to like a special office and get her fingerprints taken and getting her identity verified and that sort of thing. And then she went to her interview and presented the data that was necessary, not the least of which is her flight leaving the United States, proving that she was leaving, the bank account that she had more than X amount of thousands of dollars in it, no more than like a couple of thousand. I believe she had her business permit with her. I don't know if they asked her for that. She had several U.S. credit cards. She had international credit cards, basically. I threw her name on like my Citibank and my Chase Visa or something. These black cards that I had of, you know, ridiculous credit. And so she had those. And, you know, and I believe that, combined with her passport that had stamps from a whole bunch of other countries that she had gone into as a tourist and left shortly thereafter, as well as her ability to use a U.S. tourist visa valid for 30 days for approximately 30 minutes, you know what I'm saying? I believe that proved to the United States that she would actually come over and get the hell out. And so I can't guarantee you those are the reasons, but I can tell you that the result was that we got her U.S. tourist visa, and that was a pretty big day. And when we did that, we actually, and so very similar scenario is the U.S. says you're approved for your visa, and you don't go back to the embassy to pick it up, you have it sent somewhere. So I had it sent to some nearby Thai post office, and I turned the camera around to show you this. After we got her U.S. visa, we then went to a local gold shop and we bought 2 rings that we've worn since then, because I thought that was a nice celebration, if for no other reason that I wanted to prove to MedTech that I was a hopeless romantic. So there you go. There's check marks number 2. And yeah, so I've been pretty committed to this whole thing for a while, but that was a big deal. We got that. And then, you know, as you might guess, with the U.S. tourist visa, you could pretty much travel anywhere. When she flew in and out of, even though she was only transiting Tokyo with just a Philippine passport, and when she was going to Mexico, without a U.S. tourist visa. They escorted her to the next plane and basically stood there with her. They did not want her having any chance of staying in Tokyo. With a U.S. tourist visa, they're like, oh yeah, sure, do whatever you want. And so that's a little bit of a backstory. So you guys know Mariano, right? So he pinged me and he goes, hey, have you ever, I couldn't find it on your channel, have you ever done a video where you talk about how you and Gracie met? And the short answer is not really, other than just sort of the explanation that I gave you guys just now. So I think what we're gonna do in the next couple of days is we'll do a live video with more of us, you know, talking head kind of thing, not just a whole lot of beach, with Gracie's beautiful back and gorgeous meter of hair. And yeah, well, because you can see, maybe you can't see it in the light or whatever, but as you can see, if she wasn't sitting on a log, when she sits on a chair, she sits on her hair.